Hello and welcome. I'm Danette Kubanda, and joining me today for a very special Skype interview is career coach Mike Gellman. He is the author of Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success. Thanks so much for being here, Mike.
Hi, Danette. Great to be here.
So, Mike, you say that a lot of times we have blind spots that are holding us back from our dream career. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, we all have blind spots, and one of the biggest blind spots that we have is around performance. And there's a few dimensions of performance that I can talk about where we have blind spots, and it's what I call the art of performance. So the A is for attitude, the R for relationships, and the T for talent.
Interesting. So, how does attitude play into our job performance?
Well, oftentimes we're not aware of how we're coming across with others,
Okay.
and we trip ourselves up. So one client that I had, Randy, was a very outspoken guy. He was frustrated because he felt he spoke up, and a lot of times on behalf of coworkers for things that they were afraid to say, that he would say, but he would get punished for it. And he was really frustrated by that. And so after observing one of the team meetings that Randy was at, what I noticed was his coworker was speaking, and he interrupted his coworker, got red in the face, and literally stood up out of his seat and pounded on the table and told his coworker what a dumb idea that was. So if you can imagine yourself in that room, I don't know if you've been in a meeting like that. In any event, the boss gave him this really icy glare, told him to have a seat, and after the meeting, Randy said, "See, Mike, I spoke up and I got reamed for it." And as you can, probably see, is it's not so much what he said as much as how he delivered it. Is a key thing. And he really didn't have any bad intent at all. He thought he was doing the right thing, but it was the way in which he conveyed his thoughts.
Oh, that's so interesting. And I like how you pointed that out. It wasn't what he said, but how he said it. So that's where that attitude comes in. Tell me a little bit about relationships then. How do relationships play into your job performance?
Sure. Well, we often focus on the technical aspects of our job, just getting things done, right? A lot of times that's what we're paid to do, right? To get the job done, and we don't focus as much on the relationships, which is really key. I had an employee who was turned down for opportunities by the leaders because of this issue. He was a project manager, and he took credit for things that other team members did. He spoke to them in a condescending tone and sarcastic. When they would send him emails to get help on something, he wouldn't respond for oftentimes days, and on and on and on. And he really burned a lot of bridges. And he didn't seem, so while he got things done on time and on budget, it was at a high cost. And the cost was the relationships with everyone and the respect of them. And it really affected, his brand, if you will. So that's a key aspect of relationships that we need to focus on, particularly as we move up higher in organizations.
Those are, again, great points. I think we've all worked with someone like that along the way who either took credit for something you've done or just didn't treat you kindly, and building those relationships is so important. Okay, so again, the art of performance. We've got the AR. What does the T stand for?
T stands for talent. And there's a couple aspects of that. Sometimes we think that we are much better than we actually really are, or at least how others perceive us. And so that's a blind spot there. But the flip side that I'll talk about for today is a lot of times we discount ourselves. We discount our strengths that we have, things that come naturally to us. And something that comes to mind is a situation where there was a IT team that was really having difficulty getting cooperation from other departments to implement some new software systems and things of that nature. And there was one team member who was different than the rest, and she was really good at focusing on the relationships, but she wasn't able to use it. She was expected to do the same thing that everyone else was doing, which is the technical things. And once we revealed this blind spot, that she actually had a strength in that area, they're able to utilize her as like an ambassador or to do outreach and get a lot more cooperation. And the team overall became more successful. She was a lot happier because naturally that's what she was loved to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, so awareness of our talents, one way or the other, is really key. And so we don't want to have our talents untapped, underutilized, if you will, like Wendy did.
Gotcha. So if we suspect that we might have a blind spot holding us back, what should we do?
So the key thing is to get more awareness, become more aware of how we come across to others, what our strengths are, all of those, what our weaknesses are. And we can go inward, we can be introspective and look for patterns. What are the things that keep coming up time and again? Mm-hmm. And we can also look outward. We can ask coworkers for feedback, our boss or former bosses, even family members. My son gives me feedback all the time, whether I like it or not. But it's feedback, it's a data point. So there's a lot of places we can go, and that just helps us better calibrate what might be getting in the way for us career-wise.
Oh, such great advice. Thank you so much, Mike. To learn more about Mike, his book, Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success, and any of his other projects, please visit his website at mikegellman.com. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Danette.